Hello, everybody. We want to welcome you to Lebanon Church Walk Kicking Bible Study. This is Pastor Brisman at the helm tonight. We're in the book of Numbers, 19 and 20. Now, for those of you who may be joining us for the first time or viewing this particular recording online, if I had placed it anywhere, you should know that this here is a Bible study. We start from the book of Genesis and we study the whole Bible from start to finish, line upon line, precept on precept, not leaving anything unclosed. Said this here to this point. We're in the book of Numbers, 19 and 20 to be exact. The title, They Mourned for Aaron 30 Days. In other words, we have heard how Aaron became the munto factor of the priesthood, and I believe Aaron is going to pass away in this particular chapter here. So you can follow along with what God is doing. So why are we reading the Bible from start to finish? Why? Because it's a book. And the books are very specific to tell you how to get to one point to the next. But imagine your friend trying to tell you a story. If you start at the end of the story, you are left to try to figure out all the details. But if you start in the beginning, you can follow the story all the way through and you're more detail orientated so that you can know how to do it. The same thing with the Bible. Make no mistake about it. If we're going to follow God, and if they claim that this to be the word of God, then if nothing else, at least sit down and read the whole book. There's so many people who have never read the book and make all kind of assumptions. It's like, you trying to identify a car that you never seen. So from my perspective, I read the book, and therefore, when people talk about the book, I can decipher if they know what they're talking about, if they did, based on what's in the book. Okay, now if this book is untrue, then show me another book that you base your opinion on so that we can go forward. Now, uh, Sister Angela told me she had met a friend. I don't hope she don't mind if I say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. And the friend said she believed in God, but she don't believe in the Bible or what's in the Bible. So I don't know how you quantify that and how you make that work because this is one of many books that tells you about God. So that's where we at. Numbers 19 and 20. Let's get into it. Tooth to toenail here. Let's go. Let us let go and let God take us on. All right. And the Lord spoke unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, This is the um, ordinance of the law of the Lord, which the Lord commanded, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel that they bring thee a red heifer without spot. Now, always when you come to that temple, you without spot, wherein no wherein is no what blemish, and unto and up on which never been a yoke. In other words, this red heifer had to be pure, not even had to work the day in her life or pull a yoke or a plow. Okay, and you shall give her to oh my God, Eleazar the priest, and he may bring her out of the what camp, and one shall slay her before his what face, and Eleazar the priest shall take of her what blood with his finger and sprinkle it up on her body directly before the tabernacle of congregation 7 times. Remember when he got ready to dedicate the tabernacle congregation, they sprinkle the blood 7 times. Aaron and his son, they sprinkle them 7 times. See, God keeps the same pattern. And one shall burn the heifer in his what sight, her skin and her flesh and her blood, with her what dung shall be he what burn. And the priest shall take cedar wood and hyssop and scarlet and cast it unto the midst of the burning of the what heifer. Now, you're going to see the cedar, this hyssop, and the scarlet throughout the Bible. And I believe that Jesus, even with the priest, is symbolized something with this here scarlet, this wood, this hyssop, and whatever. I believe that's going to be. I believe he's teaching them something because Jesus will give you a message and give you a message. Okay. Then the priest shall wash his what clothes, and he shall what bathe his flesh with what water, and afterwards he shall come into the what camp, and the priest shall be unclean until the what evening. And he shall burn, and he that burneth her shall wash his clothes with water, and bathe his what flush in what water, and he shall be unclean until what the evening. And a man that is clean shall gather up the ashes of the heifer and lay them up without the what camp in a what clean place, and it shall be uh, kept for the congregation of the children of Israel for a what water of what separation. It is the purification of what sin. So it was a sin offering that they was doing. They kept the ashes, and look how Jesus put this here. It's for the water of separation. See, even though that was literally they burned it. They did this here. He goes back with this water of separation. So hopefully, at some point, you can see how the word, the washing of the word, or doing what God is the same as a baptism. Okay, so this is some type of baptism or the separation where you know, he takes the half outside of sin and he keep the ashes as well, a memorial of it. Okay, all right, he that gather up the house, the washes goes, and shall be unclean until the evening. And he that be until the children of Israel, and unto the stranger that sojourn among them, for a statute forever. So every time that this is called for, they had to do this. And he shall touch the dead body, and he that touches the dead body of any man shall be unclean 7 days. It is the he shall purify himself with it unto 30 days, and upon the what 7th day he shall what be what clean. But if he purify not himself, I'm sorry, he should if he purify himself the 3rd day. I said 30, but I'm sorry. Let's go back to 12 so I can read this right. Uh, he shall purify himself with it on the what 3rd day, and upon the 7th day he shall be what clean. But if he purify not himself on the 3rd day, then on the 7th day he shall not be what clean. So Jesus is saying you have to follow my instruction to the T, or you won't be clean. Whosoever touches the dead body of any man shall what die. Any man that is what dead, and purify not himself, defileth the tabernacle of what the Lord, and the soul shall and that soul shall be cut off from Israel, because the water of separation was not sprinkled unto what him. He shall be what unclean. His uncleanness is yet upon what him. This is the law. When a man died in a what tent, all that comes unto the what tent, and all that is in the tent shall be unclean 7 days. And every open vessel which has not covered bound unto it is what unclean. God said, even if they die, if something is not covered, it's unclean. And whosoever touches one that is slain with a sword in the open field, or a what dead body, or a bones of a what man, or a what grave, he shall be unclean 7 days. And for uh, a unclean person that shall take of the what ashes of the burning heifer for purification of for sin, and running water shall be put thereof in a what vessel. And a clean person shall take the hyssop, okay, and dip it in the water, and sprinkle it unto the what tent, and unto all the vessels, and unto the person that was there, and unto them that touches the bones, or the what slain, or one dead, uh, uh, one slain, one dead, or a what grave. And the unclean person shall sprinkle unto the unclean And the clean person shall sprinkle unto the unclean on the what 3rd day, and upon the 7th day. And upon the 7th day he shall purify himself, and wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and he shall be clean until the what evening. But the man that shall be what unclean, and shall not purify himself, they soul shall be cut off from among the congregation, because he have defiled the sanctuary of the Lord. And the water of separation have not been sprinkled unto him. he is what unclean. Before I go into 20, I want to go on record and say this here. It's the same thing when we don't repent. It's the same thing when we don't forgive and we don't understand the power of forgiveness. You see, because if you can't forgive others, he can't forgive you, and you become unclean, holding all the unforgiveness. And even when I'm angry now, I'm learning to just forgive it and say, Lord, it bothered me, but help me because I want to be clean and not unclean. I want that blessing to continue to flow. Okay. All right. And it shall be a perpetual statute unto them, that he that sprinkles the water of separation shall wash his well clothes, and he that touches the water of separation shall be unclean until the evening. And whatsoever the unclean person touch shall be unclean, and that soul that touches it shall be unclean until the what evening. All right. So Jesus now going back, getting a refresher touch of what's clean and unclean here. He has probably some people who died and all this other kind of stuff, and Jesus is dealing with them. And it came to pass with the children of Israel 20 here 1. Even the whole congregation unto the deserts of Azin in the first month, and the peoples abided in Kozar and Midirah died oh my God, I can't even say her name now. Miriam died there and was buried there. So Miriam died before what Aaron? Okay, and there was no water for the congregation, and they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and the people tried with what Moses and spit, saying, "Would the Lord that we have but died when He brought us out, brought when our brethren died before the what Lord." And why have ye brought us into the congregation of the Lord into this wilderness, that we and our cattle shall die there? And therefore have ye made us to come out of what Egypt? Now they go back, trying to go back to Egypt, to bring us to this evil place. It is no place for seed, or figs, or vines, or pomegranate, neither is there any water to what drink. And Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly unto the door of the tabernacle congregation. That's what they did. They went to Jesus, and they fell upon their wet face. And the Lord and the glory of the Lord appeared unto what them. All of a sudden, Jesus is standing right there. See, now they got a problem. See how Jesus is just there. Okay. And the Lord said unto Moses, saying, Take your reed and gather the assembly together, and thou and Aaron, thou what brother, and speak ye unto the rock before their what eyes, and it shall give forth his what water. Now see, that rock now already had water. See, Jesus knew what the water were. See, he understood it had water, because he said it shall give forth this what water. Okay, all of a sudden, well, rock don't have water. Yeah, rocks and things can contain water, or there's a well or something part of what's up under that rock. And Jesus just said, just speak to it. I'm gonna make it give you water. So thou shalt what give the congregation and their beast drink. And Moses took the rod from before the Lord as he would command him. And Moses and Aaron gathered up together the congregation together before the what rock. And he said unto them, Hear now, ye rebellious, ye rebel. Most we fetch you water out of this what rock. And Moses lifted up his hand, and with his rod he smote the rock twice. Good God Almighty! And you see, that's where Moses went wrong right there. And the water came out abundantly, and the congregation drunk, and the beasts also. And the Lord spoke unto Moses and Aaron, because ye believe me not. Now see that unbelief now is finna take out these two men of God to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel. Therefore ye shall not bring the congregation unto the land which I have given you. This is the water of Machpelah, because the children of Israel strove with what God, and he did sanctify in what them. And Moses sent a message to uh, Kedesh, if I'm saying it right, the king of Edom, Who is Edom? That would be Ishmael. And said that thus said thou what brother Israel. See, that's Edom. Thou knows all the travails that we have befallen us, how our fathers went down into Egypt, and we have dealt in the Egypt a long what time, and the Egyptians vexed us, and our what fathers. And when we cried unto the Lord, he heard our what voice, and sent angels, and has brought us out of what Egypt. And behold, where we are in Kedash, the city of the city in the upmost of thy what borders. Let us pass. Now he's asking Edom, which was what's the son name? Jacob. Jacob had a brother Esau. He asking Esau to let me pass. Let us pass, I pray thee, through thy country. We will not pass through thy what field, or get through thy what vineyard. Neither will we drink of the waters of the what well. We will go by the king's highway, and will not turn to the right hand or to the left hand, even we have passed until we have passed through thy border. And Edom said unto him, Thou shalt not pass by me, lest I come out against thee with a what sword. And the children of Israel said unto him, We will go by we will go by the highway, and uh, if I and my cattle drink of thy water, then will thou pay for thee. I will only, without doing anything else, go through on my what feet. And he said, Thou shalt not go through. And Edom, which is they family, came out against him with most people, and with a what strong hand. And Edom refused to give Israel passage through the border. Okay. Wherefore Israel turned away from what him. And the children of Israel, even the whole congregation, journeyed from Kadesh, and came unto the mount of Hor. And the Lord spoke unto Moses and to Aaron in the mount of Hor, by the coast of the land of Edom, saying, Aaron shall be gathered unto his what people. Now he's telling Aaron it's time for you to come home. For ye shall not enter into the land which I have given unto the children of Israel. Because now they're getting ready to possess. Remember the 40 years of probation, or the 40 years that he said they're going to die in the days, is getting ready to come up. And now they're getting ready to possess. Ye have rebelled against me, my word, at the waters of Machpelah. And take Aaron and Eleazar his son, and bring them up unto the mount of Hor. And he stripped Aaron of his garment, and put him on Eleazar his what son. And Aaron shall be gathered unto his what people, and he shall what die. God is telling him. And Moses did as the Lord commanded. And they went up unto the what mountain of Hor, in the sight of all of the congregation. And Moses stripped Aaron of his what garment, and put them upon Eleazar his what son. And Aaron died there in the top of the what mountain. And Moses and Eleazar came down from the what mountain. And when all the congregation saw that Aaron was dead, they mourned for Aaron 30 days, even all of the house of Israel. So that was a mourning. Okay. And so what happened now is that as God leading them, they get close to go to the promised land. There's two things you need to understand. Edom is what Esau here. And so his Esau now is going to refuse to let them pass through the land. Okay. And God now is going to give Aaron his just reward for disobeying him. Because when they hit that rock, even though Moses did it, Aaron didn't try to stop him. And so now God has got to deal with this here. So now Aaron is getting ready to pass away, and Miriam already passed away. And now the last thing that got to happen next is Moses, because Moses can't enter to the promised land either, because him and Aaron made the same mistake. So that's just where we at with it. Now we're getting close to see how God come in and take them into the promised land. and see the message that God gave him, because Moses is still going to be there, because there's going to be a couple wars they're going to be fighting, and they're going to have to hold his hands up and all this other kind of stuff. By the way, you can go back and catch this in the book, some of the earliest part of the book when Moses was dealing with it, the book of Exodus, when he started talking about the wars. All this here correlate together. Well, this is 19 and 20, the book of Exodus. Aaron passed away and they mourned 30 days. That's one of the biggest messages. They disobeyed God. This is why he had to pass away. And God just stripped them in front of the whole people so that God can show his disapproval for what they did and put that thing on his son here, Eleazar. So that's all we have. If you like what you hear, you got to go to LebanonChurchWorldKicking.org. Again, that is LebanonChurchWorldKicking.org. Please go to our live broadcast tab. A drop down menu will appear. Please select on our Bible study selection, live broadcast, then the Bible study selection. Join our Bible study community. You give access to tons of video and opportunity to go live. May God bless each and every one of you and forever keep you in your care. This is Pastor Benjamin signing off. Get ready to go into live discussion.